From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Bimbo Oloede.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, Federal High Court Abuja invalidates new PDP, orders its leadership to stop parading themselves as PDP executive, party to treat breakaway group as criminals. Presidential Advisory Committee on National Dialogue begins work, meets citizens in Akure, the Ondo State capital. World Bank gives $150 million education grant to Anambra, Bauchi and Ekiti states. And 2 bodies likely to be those of attackers in the Kenyan mall recovered.
And on business news, banks' deposit and lending rates increase in the month of August.
And in sports news, the league management company announces the sum of 10 million naira for the winner of the 2012-13 Globe Premier League.
A federal high court sitting in Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital territory, has affirmed the election of Bamanga Tukur as the chairman of the People's Democratic Party. The presiding judge, Justice Evo Chukwu, also ordered the Baraje faction of the PDP to stop parading themselves as officers of the party. The court further restrains the Baraje faction from interfering with the activities of the PDP or establishment of parallel offices.
The courtroom was sparsely filled as a few lawyers converged on the court to listen to the verdict of the court. It's the suit filed by Mr. Kawu Baraje and his new People's Democratic Party seeking to oust Mr. Bamanga Tukur as the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party. Mr. Baraje and his new PDP initiated a suit seeking to nullify the special convention of the party held on the 31st of August on the ground that they were excluded from participating in the election. After a 2-hour judgment, Justice Evo Chukwu dismissed the suit on the ground that the convention, which produced the Bamanga Tukur-led executive, was duly monitored by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Reacting to the judgment, lawyer to the People's Democratic Party praised the verdict of the court.
It is victory for the rule of law, and we must commend the hard work and tenacity of the trial judge. We must also commend the intelligence and able formulation of the law by our learned friends on the other side. But finally, the law has taken its course, and it's victory for all of us, for the nation, and we hope that this will bring peace to the polity.
With a calm look, lawyer to Mr. Kawu Baraje says he will meet with his client to determine their next line of action.
We are expected to be successful, but in a contest, you are bound to have a decision one way or the other. So the next thing is to accordingly advise my clients, and then let us see what their reaction is going to be. That's all. Considering appealing the judgment? Well, that will be the decision of my clients and not mine, because I'm just a counsel, and then the court has ruled, and that is the law until set aside.
Although the court has finally laid to rest the issue of a new PDP versus an old one, the crisis rocking the party may be far from over if the litigants decide to appeal the judgment of the court.
Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party has praised the judgment of the Federal High Court, stopping the leadership of its breakaway group led by Alhaji Abubakar Baraje from parading themselves as the party's national executives. The PDP National Publicity Secretary Olisa Metu, at a press briefing in Abuja, warned that henceforth the activities of the Baraje-led PDP will be considered criminal and those involved will be dealt with accordingly.
We wish, therefore, to state with all emphasis that any group of persons parading themselves as leaders of this organ of our party are impostors and must be treated as criminals by all and sundry. Henceforth, the leadership of the PDP will no longer tolerate any meeting, utterances, press statements, and activities whatsoever under the name, flag, and color of the PDP by any unauthorized person and or group under any guise whatsoever. As a law-abiding party, the PDP remained calm in the face of unwarranted attacks in the last few months. Our leaders chose the path of caution and decorum, but our reconciliatory moves and offer of olive branch were treated with the highest disdain and viewed as signs of weakness.
Well, it's not only the court that has rejected the Baraje faction of the PDP. Members of the party from Kwara State have also disowned the group and pledged their support for the Bamanga Tukur-led National Working Committee. During a visit to the National Secretariat of the party in Abuja, the leader of the delegation, Mr. Latif Halada, said it's time for the party faithful in the state to speak out in support of the PDP leadership. On his part, the national chairman of the party promised that his leadership will continue its work to reform the party.
Well, because those who went to the radio and said they are new PDP from Kwara State, and it is customary for them to say that there is no disagreement. PDP in Kwara is one. It is a lie. Because the reason why I say it's a lie, they are not ready to protect the interests of the party, and we don't want to belong together.
I would like to thank you for this solidarity visit and to reassure you, by the grace of God, our party is a party to belong to. It's a party accepted by majority of Nigerians because it's the only party. Every polling booth in our nation will find a PDP adherent.
Still on politics, the Anambra State Independent National Electoral Commission has distributed the electronic INEC voter register to the 23 political parties who have candidates for the governorship election. There was a mild drama as the state chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Ken Emekai, created a scene when the commission announced that the register would not be released to the PDP until the conclusion of existing court cases.
At the state headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, leaders and members of various political parties have come to collect their copies of the voters' register packaged in mobile storage devices. It was a peaceful exercise as the representatives of the political parties were called upon to receive their copies. But when the Commission's public relations officer announced that the material will not be released to the PDP because of the pending court cases on the party's leadership, the mood changed.
PDP will not receive their copies to the level issues. We have a final pronouncement for the court on the level issues. Under any regime, unless you came in here, you can't give the PDP this. I have the letter to Ogwebego.
The chairman of the People's Democratic Party in the state feels the PRO has stirred the hornet's nest, and he didn't keep quiet about it.
May we know, sir, which court issue? The implications of what you say is that PDP will not participate in this election.
The situation degenerated into an open confrontation between Mr. Emekai and the INEC national officer.
So let us say chairman and secretary of political party. You did not ask other candidates to come. You have to treat PDP the same way you treated others. Question of court, throwing it there, doing it, all these things. We cannot. Since we have this controversy here, can you help us? Let's sort it out first before you come for this.
And just when the matter was being resolved, Mr. Emekai turned on his colleague from the PDP, Mr. Ejike Ogwebego. It's a few weeks to the elections proper, and the political atmosphere in Anambra State is thicker than ever.
In the meantime, the Bishop of Nnewi Diocese of the Anglican Communion, Professor Godwin Opara, is warning politicians in Anambra State against using the youth to perpetuate political violence. Bishop Opara spoke to Channels Television after a closed-door meeting with the APC governorship candidate, Senator Chris Ngige.
We condemn thuggery in its entirety. So we appeal to the candidates not to overuse the youth to support them. Just tell people what you want them to want to do for them, and mean it. There is no point allowing the young people to come and die for that election. Dr. Chris Ngige had been there, and he worked well. And so we believe that if it is the will of God, if he's given that opportunity again, he will do better.
In part 2, after the break, World Bank gives 3 states $150 million as education grant. Do stay with us.